Hi. For some reason, I'm very dark suddenly.
You
Like
are? You're lighter now.
backlit. I'm backlit.
Now you're light.
Oh, goodness.
Hello.
Hi.
Somebody just asked me for a completed invoice for May 25th of this year, saying, we know you've sent in the form. Could you please send in this other form for that same work? Like, would have sent it back then if you sent it to me. And of course I said, yeah, please find attached, and then forgot to attach it. So I'm like, fuck. I guess I'm in that same category of morons.
Except it's their job to keep track of invoices, not yours.
Oh yeah. But you know, anyway, I guess not quite the level of, yeah. I don't know. As my daughter would say, I hate incontinent people. Really, really little. And I was on a call one time, just really frustrated. And as they are when they're this big, you know, the only time they need you is when you're on the phone. Mm-hmm. And I must have, after I hung up the phone, just said, oh. And then later on, she got mad at something and said, I hate incontinence. I said, yeah, me too.
It's a problem.
That's such a great word. It's so close to so many other words.
Yep.
Yep.
Although the sentiment is the same. I mean, incompetence, incontinence, I don't like either one of them particularly.
No.
How's everybody else today?
Not incontinent.
Yeah.
That's a good start. That's a really good start. The bar may be kind of low, but still.
No, I have my one of my business partners that's in town, Madeline, and so we've just been jamming on the porch. We're getting a shit ton of work done, so that feels really good.
Oh, that's
And
great.
it's also just great to be in like physical proximity when we're noodling on the combination of building our business and building, doing project execution and, meeting with folks. It's just more fun when you're in the same room every
It
once in a while.
totally is. Yeah.
I'm having a ball.
There's
totally is.
Valuing 3D for sure.
Yeah.
Where's she coming from, Astrid?
France.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she and her husband, who was my other business partner, they moved their life from the US to France, and so there's a bunch of stuff that needed to be processed, like camping gear and Burning Man gear, and so she wanted to go and come and see some friends, and we had some work to do, and we're working on some project, and she goes, well, you know what, I'm just going to come for a few weeks. And when she was vaccinated, and he's stuck because he's Australian, so he's stuck in France right now because he's in like all the residency requirements and all that process. Number one, the French bureaucracy is like fucking Byzantine to begin with, and then of course everything got waylaid by COVID, and so poor Cameron is actually not very confident, and like he can't cross the border, like any border right now. He's just like foot until.
How long has he been out of Australia?
Years. I mean, he's been in the US for a long time on a business visa, that sort of multiple entry business visa. And she's American and French dual. They got married in France, and so he's trying to figure out like the whole, like even getting the process right of how you change your residency status in the EU when you marry a European citizen. It's just wild.
Not living in Paris. I hope they're living in some idyllic little.
They're in southwestern France near the Spanish border in the Languedoc. Yeah, I know.
Stop it.
I know, it's gorgeous. I can't wait to go visit.
Yeah, one of the girls that was in my docent class, which seems like forever ago, she had a country house that she bought. I mean, just like bought it and fixed it up, and it's in the Languedoc, and she had shared photos with us, and it was so ridiculously picturesque.
It really is, yeah.
Just beautiful. And this little tiny place that she bought was, I mean, it almost looked Greek in that it was built of, it just looked like it was a stucco block house, tiny.
Yeah,
which
there's some beautiful places in the Languedoc, and it's interesting. She was saying there's it's a buyer's market for real estate right now because of course the Brexit, right, like catapulted so many Brits back to the UK who had
Yeah.
sort of, you know, set up their nice sort of retirement lifestyle of being in France and having given up their primary residence in the UK, and then with Brexit, everybody hightailed it back, and so apparently now it's a good time to buy.
Yeah, that's a bummer. I heard that about Italy too. I stumbled on something. Kevin had looked years ago. Well, actually, it was only about 2 or 3 years ago. So his dad's family is their first generation. His dad's mother's brothers were all born in Italy. So they have a direct line back to, and that's what Italy likes, I guess. So he can apply for dual citizenship at some point. And if he buys one of those houses, you know, some old rundown place for $1, but then you have to go live there for 5 years and pour a bunch of money into it. But Kevin's he's so romantic about that idea, you know.
Love that.
Sounds pretty great.
So my favorite news story is, so here's Madeline, you know, away for weeks on end, and Cameron is not exactly fluent in French. Well, it turns out, so he's got some concerns. You know, will he feed himself, and will he manage to remember to feed the chickens? But but the best thing I heard is that there is a group of the proverbial little old ladies. They're all British expats who are fluent in French, who have created a service called Helping Hands, whose basic entire remit is to be the
Lovely,
go-between
Cameron.
and translator. Yeah, well, no, the Camerons of France. They basically exist to help the Camerons of France who
Yeah.
don't speak French and need somebody who can advocate for them when trying to, you know, all the things like trying to get the car repaired or making,
Right.
you know, figuring out if the physical therapist he needs to go see can speak English, right? And so there's a whole service now for.
That's a brilliant
Isn't that
idea.
amazing? I
Those
love it.
little ladies are probably making money just hand over
Hand over
fist.
fist, hand over fist. It's that ideal combination of like executive assistant, translator, and also the local knowledge. Like you have to know the mechanics.
As they should.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
I love
a
it.
big job. And
And I remember meeting Cameron once before on the street, and he's not unattractive. That's got to be a plus for little old ladies.
Well, it's a great plus, and also apparently they're all gaga over Australians in France.
oh,
Madeline was saying like, yeah, like even if there's no common language, it's all Crocodile Dundee and kangaroos and.
That is so fucking
And,
funny. They must have forgotten about the Australian in the 80s who peed on the eternal flame and put it out.
Yeah, that honestly, that
Forgot all about
is not following him around. So yeah.
That's so good. Okay, why? So is there camping gear and Burning Man gear being held for invasive species reasons, or what's the deal?
No. It's just like it was just a logistics problem,
Oh.
right? So get that, you know, they had moved when they moved with just what they could carry because they hadn't found a house yet, right? And so everything was in storage. And then there is like a certain number of time by which you can do sort of the repatriation or whatever of your stuff, and that the clock ran out of that because of COVID, because you couldn't ship anything, right? And so now it ends up being cheaper to fly over here to grab the other 5 crates than shipping it to yourself and then having to pay VAT on top of your own belongings, because how do you prove that it is in
That
fact
you
yours,
didn't,
that
yeah.
you didn't buy it?
Yeah.
Oh my
So is
God.
she just gonna pack all this stuff in multiple suitcases and just pay the fee to ship it just like bags? That's a brilliant idea.
Yeah.
'Cause,
That's
yeah.
actually- And then there's like a couple of crates that will live at our house, you know.
Yeah,
But that's it's just it's the logistics of it, which is
I would definitely want to have my there. That's got to be an amazing place to hike from up into the mountains.
yeah.
as long as you're able to get a cheap ticket or get Laurel to get your ticket for you, then
That's right. Yeah.
There you go.
my nephew did the same thing. He
Mm.
did, I mean, they just came over when I was in New York, and anytime they're here, they order just a boatload of my sister-in-law used to order like Land's End and all the whatever they needed, and then
Mhm.
just have them shipped to my dad's. And he
Mhm.
did the same thing with he works with big motors and trailers, and he has a truck that they don't have any Toyota trucks in the Netherlands, or very few, so he can't get parts. And there was one part that was like, I don't know, $600 for some screw or something really stupid and little. And it was like $59 here. So
Mhm.
he
Wow.
got it here.
I had one funny time when my kids were little, and it feels like Amazon was still like just kind of becoming a new thing. And it was like, oh, I got Prime, right? And I was coming back to the US and my kids were little. So I ordered all this like kid stuff and to my office in San Francisco, thinking, oh, I'll pick it up on my way through, not realizing that Amazon like ships everything in a box that's kind of
Separately.
twice as big as what you need and
Oh, no.
separately. So I get to my office and I say like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just, I'll pick up those couple of things that I ordered. And they were
Get
like,
in your office.
we actually had to put it in a vacant, like somebody who's out on leave's office. And I like opened the door and it was this like wall of boxes. It was so embarrassing. And I had to like open it. I mean, it like everything unpacked fit into like smaller than a carry-on suitcase, but it was just like
Wow.
this wall of boxes. I was so mortified.
Oh. That wasn't your fault. You didn't know.
I know, but it looked like I had like, and of course it was like, a pack of Pokemon cards in a
Right,
box,
right.
like a shoebox, right?
bingo.
Like this lady has been overseas for way too long.
Yeah,
She's
yeah.
gonna buy everything.
Well, and also an office in San Francisco, it's not like, you have sprawling space in those offices, but
Yeah, we had people when I was working at EcoTrust who would use the office to get deliveries, and yeah, there were several. I remember several moments where it'd just be like this wall of boxes
right.
that had been dropped off, and it's like, yeah, okay, and then
yeah.
you unpack it and it's tiny. And
The
then the wall of shame.
wall of shame. That's what it was. Obviously, I
Yeah.
still remember it.
So much more now than it would have been back then.
Oh my God. Especially with COVID, like crazy.
Let's give
Oh, I
Jeff
find-
more money.
Don't you find that sometimes the things are wrapped in this really chintzy, very parsimonious way, where there's like hardly enough space? I mean, I've had that too, where the thing is wrapped so tightly that, God forbid something gets dinged in transit, it just breaks, right, or takes out a
Yeah.
whole corner or whatever. So I feel
But
like
have
there's
you I mean, you've read about or heard about what those Amazon packing places are like in the warehouses, right?
Oh,
Like people just get an order where they like grab a box that's a certain size and then they have to like go over to bin 34 and then bin 372 and then bin 216 and put that shit together and put it on I mean, it's nuts. And apparently the bins aren't like, everything's the same in the bin. Like there
Oh,
might
no,
be
they're
4
so
different
specific.
items in
Yeah.
bin 72. So you have to like dig through and find, the purple one of this blah, blah, blah. Like it just sounds like a miserable,
It does. It does.
miserable job.
There are a lot of deaf people who work at Amazon, and I used to work doing their like daily pep talks, yay, what's the word of the day and what's the safety word and da 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 da. And just doing some of the trainings too. I mean, we did have interpreters who went out there, and I was like, no, thank you. I mean, standing on concrete for 8 hours a day, no, thank you to begin with. But not that you're standing, but you're on concrete, and there's no way that anyone could not get their steps in at the very minimum. But it's a thankless job for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've heard that it's very physically demanding. And if you don't already have an injury, you probably will have one by the time that you
Right,
finish
right,
for them.
right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's pretty fucked up. Yeah.
It's pretty,
Mm.
no thanks.
Okay, well, that's it for Amazon. Wah, 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 wah. I keep getting, changing topics. There's something that's called an oak mite that is somehow related to a cicada. I don't know, people are like, they're related to the cicadas, but they're like a chigger.
Oh,
But
no.
when you
Ugh.
get it, they're for like 2 weeks.
Oh,
And I don't know
no.
why I keep getting them on the top of my breasts. Like I get these like itchy things here. They're like chiggers. And here's where they are, is like right here.
Are they dropping out of trees down your t-shirt when
I
you're
was
walking?
gonna
I
say,
guess
either
they
that
must
or
be.
wearing like a low cut something while you're walking.
It's that crow. I think that
It's,
crow
it's
is
the crow. I've actually been
crow
been
is trying to
testing
trick us
out
on you.
that street with the crow, and I haven't. The crow is either gone, deceased, or has forgotten about me because I haven't gotten harassed by him lately. But
That's a
anyway,
weird spot. You know, I used to get a weird bite.
in some ways, thankfully, we're on Zoom because you can kind of like itch this and not be looking.
Now I have never heard of an oak mite.
Oak mite, yeah.
That seems like something that
Are you
I would
sure
have
that's what
encountered.
it
I
is and not
finally
a spider?
got some itch relief cream and these little things. Like this is how big they are. So I'm like putting those on
So
today.
you have polka dots on your
Polka
boots. I
dotted,
love it.
right. Well, with chiggers, you put like fingernail polish on them.
Yeah, something to kill them. Yeah, and these
Smother 'em.
Yeah.
oak
Yeah.
mites last for like 2 weeks. This is
Oh.
the third one I've had.
Wow, listen, did you look this up? This is
No.
from August 2nd. This is the Washingtonian. Oak mite bug leaving gross bites on DC people.
Yeah,
It's a thing now.
it's a thing. Yeah,
Yes.
it's a thing. It's been in the Washington
are-
Post.
Yeah, wow.
And I mean, what is the relationship to the cicadas? That's where I'm like,
They
I
look
haven't read it.
kind of like
The
it,
cicada probably
but
poops them out.
they're tiny.
Oh no, these microscopic mites feed on the billions of cicada eggs. So
Ooh.
when the cicadas mated and put the eggs down, these mites feed on those eggs.
Oh, if you happen to be
Ew.
under those oak trees.
But I was on a call the other day with my mutual aid people, and 2 of the other women were like complaining about the oak mites. And I was like, I don't know, just between us ladies, are you
Ugh.
getting them like on the top of your boobs? And they were like, yes. So
Well,
they
I mean,
they must fall, and I have a V-neck t-shirt on or something, but they're down
Yeah.
they're down further than where my t-shirt would go for sure.
Or do
It's
they
not
just like
like-
land? Do they just
Well, like
land on you and then
follow.
that's where they go?
That's what it says.
Yeah,
They
it's
only
like a
bite
shelf.
people when they fall on them.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, your boobs are like a shelf, so that's where they land.
Yeah.
The bigger the boobs,
Wow.
the bigger the shelf.
Exactly. Okay, well, I've got 3 of them now, and I've had them for a couple of weeks. Like, I
Ugh.
mean, I had one for like 2 weeks, and then I got another one, and I just got a third one where I'm like, God damn it! Now I'm actually gonna have to buy some itch relief cream.
Yeah.
I like pride myself on not having.
Oh my God, these
Oh my
the
God.
Washingtonian are gross.
Right. It says that they call them from August through October, mite showers can occur.
Ew.
Ew.
I know everybody's looking at this and imagining that on the top of my tit.
Yeah, it says remove clothing items each day and launder them. Take a warm soapy shower after coming indoors, especially after gardening or raking leaves.
The eggs laid by the now departed 17-year cicadas. The female oak mites can give birth to as many as 250 eggs at a time, or 250 at a time.
That's gross.
Wow.
So
That's
there's
true.
my
I've
fun
never
walk
heard
in the woods. That's what I'm getting.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Your dog and dog and pony show.
My dog and pony show.
Wow, sounds like a short story to me.
Oh,
Nightmare.
that is funny. So they fall. Okay, now we know. So I guess I need to get out my my
Yeah.
t-shirts that go up to here.
Right.
Just put on your Amish hiking gear and you'll be all right.
Right.
There you go.
So they don't, not like ticks like in the top of your socks or anywhere else, just
The
here.
only place I've gotten them are on the top of my boobs.
Do you wear
Oh
a
my
hat?
No, I don't
Night
wear
shower.
a hat.
Night shower.
So I might,
might
my
shower.
nose
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
is
you
too
need- you
short
need-
to
you
catch
need
one
one
of
of those-
them.
You need one of those umbrella hats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or one of those Australian, what do they call
swirly
them? Those
things.
bush hats with the corks that all the Australians wear.
There
Yeah.
you go.
Keep the
That's
flies
it.
off your face.
Yeah, I think you just
That's
need
what
to
Peter
embrace
said.
a
Those
very large
Australians
hat.
They're talking out of the side of their mouths because they're trying to keep the flies out of their mouth.
Ew.
Yay.
Mm.
It is gross in some places in Australia. Yeah, the bugs
Yeah.
are just like, ugh.
So
Yeah.
how much of the 2 weeks are you into?
Oh, for this new one, I'm like on day 2.
Oh,
This is my 3rd one. Yeah.
Hmm.
I've actually heard, I mean, heard people like on Facebook, friends and stuff are posting that they're getting tons of them. So I'm relatively lucky, I think. It's funny I'm
Wow.
not getting any on my arms because I wear a short sleeve shirt too, but
They just like cruising down your top,
that's right. They like the flesh.
your soft, milky flesh.
They're booby,
go.
booby guys. Oh man, I'm sorry.
Oh, I know. Astrid still has a pained look on her face.
Oh,
I know.
Looking at
They just make it's like lice. They
I
just
have to
it.
stop. You know, I mean, my worst experience like that was getting scabies. That was entertaining. Oh,
Yeah, Kevin had that.
oh, yeah. We were slumming it in some Eastern European youth hostel shortly after the Iron Curtain went up, and yeah, oof, that was the gift that kept on giving.
I could not believe how horrible that looked. I had to slather cream all over Kevin's back. I mean, you
Oh.
could see the trails, the pathways that these horrible creatures leave under your skin.
Yeah, it's
And
gross.
then, yeah,
Those are more
It's-
like a pussy rash, right? Scabies.
it looked like he had been just scratching himself madly, like wherever the
Yeah.
little baby creatures would burrow under his skin. And the thing that really freaked us out was when the doctor told us that the thing that makes it itch so bad is that they're pooping under your skin.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, ew.
Really gross.
Yeah.
It kind of, I mean, the look is similar to what you're dealing with, except
Mhm.
they're moving.
Yeah.
So you get these
Yeah.
like little, you get these tracks. I had it on my wrist, as I recall, and you get these weird little, like there's a creature living in your skin layers, basically. It's gross.
It is
Oh,
gross.
that's enough to make you want to like itch it out. Ew.
Yeah, Kevin picked it up at some leadership retreat where they were all sleeping on, like
A
sleeping in dirt.
leadership retreat.
I know, right? A leadership retreat where everybody gets scabies.
Mm.
If you were the facilitator for that meeting, it would be like,
And your party
Your
leadership
leadership
is
Feels like we're being questioned.
oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Yeah, don't look up oh my God, don't look up images for scabies on Google.
Okay,
Oh,
I will not.
or-
I will not.
Yeah.
Well, should we get going? I'm actually going for a cocktail before I go see Ali Wong with my
Oh,
friend
cool.
who's 6 months pregnant.
Yay.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear about this tomorrow.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
why you're all dolled
and-
up.
It's fun going with my friend who's 6 months pregnant right now.
Oh God, and I loved Ali Wong's special when she was like hugely pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. Her first one, baby Cobra, she was 6 months pregnant. Yeah.
Yes. That's
Oh,
great.
that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember thinking how great she looked in that skin tight dress wandering around on stage. And I was like, man, I wish I could have pulled that off.
Absolutely. In flats too. Yeah.
She looked so good.
She totally did.
You're going to have fun.
Awesome.
Okay.